chit-chatting and let's get to money work. So welcome everybody to Monday Morning Motivation, and congratulations for not making excuses and for being here, listening and talking about money mindset, which is a topic that apparently is very popular. So we're very happy, and we're super excited to have Adrian back with us to share very, very insightful ideas and practical exercises apparently this time around. So that's going to be exciting. And for those who don't know who Adrian is, he's going to introduce himself a little bit later, but he's been a speaker of ours earlier this year and is a great coach, NLP practitioner, master practitioner. I don't know what your titles, you will introduce yourself later. But we're super happy to have him here, and it's going to be a very, very good session. So don't go anywhere. Janine, what do we have coming up?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. And we're actually even more excited to have Adrian, because also Maria and me are literally learning from Adrian. So he's definitely a game changer in our lives, I would say. So this is why we really want to give more and more people the advantage to learn from him. Yeah, if you guys are not in the WeChat group yet, you know, we have 5 WeChat groups. This is where we share everything. Scan the QR code for the people who don't have a Christmas present yet, or maybe a birthday gift or whatever, or need motivation every day. Here we have motivational quotes. We have beautiful reflection exercises on gratitude, on goal setting, so that you can do something for your happiness as well as for your success. So here's the flyer if you want to get a book. And beyond this, last week we had our last networking event with MMM. And we're excited to be in Beijing this week. Tonight I'm going to go to Beijing. Send me a message if you're in Beijing. Maria is going to join from Wednesday. And tomorrow I'll be speaking at Rotary Club in Beijing. It's all about leading with purpose. If you want to come join, let me know. On Friday, Maria and I will be speaking at Life Skills for Me in Beijing. It's all about improving productivity and time management while achieving goals. And last but not least, yay, finally, Beijing community. We really, really want to see you and meet you in person. So join us Saturday for a Christmas brunch. And we are collaborating with Unleash today from Beijing. So please come, we want to meet you. I guess enough
Absolutely.
Talking, right, Maria?
Yes, I think that's, if you guys are interested in any of that, you know where to find me and Janine. Do connect with us if you want to meet us. We're in Beijing, we're there. And enough talk from us. I think that now everybody's here to listen to Adrian. So Adrian, stage is yours.
Stage is yours.
And you're muted.
There you go. I love technology. Thank you all very much for coming here. Thank you very much, Janine, Maria. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I really love being able to share this particular topic. And this particular topic is really important, and it's really interesting. Money cannot buy you happiness, but it can buy you a lot more choices. Choices to see different doctors. Choices to send your future kids to the school that you choose. Not the school you can afford, the school that you choose. So wealth plays a very important role in our lives. Now, Janina, Maria, do either of you guys have the wheel of life, or can share the wheel of life?
Maria,
I do. I'll do, and I'll share it.
And what's it about, Maria? What's this wheel of life thing?
That's a great question. Let me take a look. It's about all the categories that we consider important in life.
Well, I love using the wheel of life with my coaching clients, because basically it shows exactly, like, in this moment, for example, this week, this month, how would you categorize, like, how satisfied are you in your life in these different criteria? And very often I just had one coaching client, she was just focusing on her business and money, and she totally forgot that life is also about other parts of you, other parts like fun and recreation, or health, or physical environment, personal growth. And I guess the numbers can also change. So maybe at one stage you may have these kind of numbers, like 0, maybe you're not satisfied at all. 10, maybe you are very, very satisfied. But at a later point, if you make changes in your lives, it may also change.
Thank you. So today we're going to talk about this little piece of the pie down here, about the piece of the pie referring to money. And if it's not clear already, that kind of amplifies why it's important. And if that money section is really, really low, it's going to be hard to give time to significant others. It's going to be hard to have fun and recreation. It's going to be hard to look after your health if you can't afford a doctor's bill, or if you can't afford healthy food. You're going to be limited in your personal growth without good funds. Your environment's going to be affected by your money, and your career, you know, it's a bit hard to turn up to a job interview in a singlet or a battered shirt. So money plays a really important role in our lives. In today's section, we're totally focused on there. Some people in the last webinar were great, and a couple of them raised some questions, like they made correlations between money and happiness, which is great. That's from their belief system, not mine. I never said anything about money and happiness, but they presented that they had them tied together, like cause and effect relationships and catching up with Mr. Jones. And that was great. So anyone that was there would have picked up on that. Now we're doing today, what we're going to get into now is, a lot of people here already recognize that there are already these associations. Money brings happiness, or money cannot bring happiness. A lot of people already have these associations. So what I'd like to do is help to raise awareness to some of those associations that people may already have. So you can stop the screen share if you like, and I'm going to share something in the chat window for everyone. We got 3 levels of awareness. The first level is comprehension, and this can be information in books, or I know I need to change this, but it's not working. That level of awareness needs to go into emotion, and from emotion to identity. So if you want to make some changes in your biology or belief, or in your wealth mindset, comprehension is great, but we need the emotional charge and move it all the way down or into our core identity. So it's more along the lines of our core identity of wealth. This isn't about tactics or strategies to make money. The reason you are where you are is the result of past decisions, but it's your future decisions that will change your future, make you richer or poorer. And your decisions come a lot from your unconscious, a supercomputer, and your unconscious has its own identity. And, you know, everyone has their own concept of self-identity. But we really need to change our core identity and our deep-seated beliefs about money in order to create abundance. And abundance is completely natural. As we covered in the last session, I just briefly shared this one here called Facts. I made this up myself. You won't find it in any books. What we focus on, we create more of. The more we focus on abundance, or the more we focus on opportunities, the more we see that. But we also have to accept our own limitations, accept that there's 24 hours a day. We also need to accept that change is constant. And I'm sorry if these sounds like facts, but they kind of are facts. These are the actual facts. The world is constantly changing. As we are breathing, old cells are going, new cells are coming. These are facts. The world is completely, constantly changing. And with the changes, the systems become more complex. Now, a lot of the times we might like to go back to our youth when things were easier and simpler. But as we get older, things get more complex. How do we handle that complexity? Do we rise and open to it? Or do we reject it? What we need to do to create wealth or abundance in whatever we want in life is to focus on what we want, accept the natural laws of abundance and who we are, move with the changes. The constant changes creates complexity. Move with that as well. Through constant changing and complexities comes constant opportunities. We got a TOTE, which is an NLP word for test, operate, test, execute, which means like test things out. If they work, great, we can exit. But if we test things out and they don't work, we need to adjust test, adjust, and once it works, exit out of there. Once we find our models and strategies that work, we can then scale. So I know there's a fair bit in there, but the coaches can go into more depth with you. That's how you can go from wherever you are to scaling. But what is your underlying identity? What is your underlying identity? That is the million-dollar question. Would you like to find out a bit more about your underlying identity? You notice I sat down.
Yes.
And I also breathe. Take a deep breath. I know that was fast. Don't worry. Relax. I'd like for you all to take a couple more breaths and just relax. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to share like a little meditation, and we're just going to relax. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and you can come up with whatever solutions, questions you want, but I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. I respect your beliefs and you can keep them. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions slowly. Some people are meditators and they may relax quite fast. And some people have not found that much success with meditation, but you know other ways to relax. And if you want to go very relaxed and deep, that's totally fine and cool. And if you want to remain conscious, that's totally cool as well, because either way, you're going to find amazing answers here. If you were to go back to when you were a child, perhaps 5, 6, or 7 years old, there were a couple of people in your life, perhaps father, mother, or maybe some people were raised by grandparents, aunties, uncles, or foster homes. Now just take the typical example of a father, whether he was there or wasn't there. What did success mean to him? What did success mean to that father person in your life when you were 5, 6? What did success mean to him? Now you can just meditate, but you can also write out the answers if you prefer. You might like to write out these answers. But really, what did your father think success was? And even for those that may meditate with your eyes closed, I'd like to encourage you to open up your eyes for a moment and just write out a couple of words. Perhaps in a Word document for yourself or pen and paper. Just a couple of words for yourself, for him. And for some people, the father's definition of success, as someone shared with me, thank you. The father's definition of success may be to keep the family well, maybe to feed the family, maybe to make ends meet. But maybe it was totally different. Maybe we saw those men try to create businesses and fail. Maybe we saw them create businesses, succeed, and perhaps we saw them succeed or fail financially, but succeed in other areas of life. But if you're a little child and that person is there, that's going to influence who you are. And we may like to be nothing like our fathers, or we may subconsciously like to be like them. Or completely not. That's totally okay. But what about your mother? Relax. Take a deep breath. What did your mother think was success? What was success for your mother? Feeding the family? Relationships? Career? What was success for your mother? Now, some people may have had an older brother or sister. Perhaps there was someone else that was really important in your life, like a grandparent. And we'll do this twice. We'll do this 2 more times of 2 different people. So maybe an older brother if you had one. I would suggest more older than younger, because we often look up to our older brothers and sisters. So if you've got an older brother or sister, what did success mean for them? Now, what about another person in your life back then? Back when you were in your early years, if there was another person, a grandparent, auntie, uncle, or someone, what did success mean to them? There's no such thing as one hat fits all or one size fits all, because for some people, they may have had an older brother or sister that was guiding them a lot. For someone else, they may have been raised by grandparents. So a lot of the times the books don't quite cover this in enough detail. When you were maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, what would have or could have success meant to you? As a child, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, what would have success meant to you? How would you have defined success back then? Now, for those that are more serious, if you actually write out what success meant to you back then and what success meant to those people, you will get a lot of new conscious awareness. And you might like to meditate deeper on those events, on those people. And as you went back, you may have found some other events. I often like to take my clients back and I look for events where money was involved. Can you remember one of the first experiences you had with money? Maybe some grandparents gave you a little bit of money for a job. What did you make up? What stories were you telling yourself as a child about money? Now just take a deep breath and relax a bit more. I'd like for you to finish this sentence. When I was young, I learned that money could. When I was young, I learned that money could. When I was young, I thought that money meant. We will pause that there. And if anyone wants to go deeper on that process, connect with one of the beautiful coaches in the room. There are several more questions that will bring up more stuff. And once we bring up that stuff, we have opportunities to change it. You might also like to sit with one of the beautiful coaches in the house, and you might like to think with your notes written down, okay, that was the past. What do I want to believe going forward? Going forward, there are some beliefs which will accelerate your path and will make it easier and easier to create money. If you believe money is hard today, and if you go forward thinking money is hard or money is challenging, money creates problems, money creates these things, if you believe these things unconsciously, you will follow your beliefs. Even though you may have conscious goals to create wealth, if your unconscious still has kind of what I call negative belief system around wealth, that's what will happen. And you might even create conflict in yourself where part of you wants to create money and part of you doesn't. We've got to neutralize or reduce those parts of you. In a holistic point of view, we might accept those parts. Yeah, I used to believe that, and now I believe this. Once we change our belief system and recognize that money is easy, it's just a tool. Once we fully connect all this with who we are, creating money becomes more easy. And creating wealth is an easy and natural process. It's an incredibly easy and natural process. The process is money comes in, we put it in positive investments that grow. It's as simple as that. We can get into more technical aspects of where should I put it? Should I put it in this investment or that investment? But we've got to make sure we're going to put it into those investments, not going to what a lot of people do and go put it into a new car. And you can work with the coaches here, especially the NLP trained ones, to really absorb and adopt that mindset. Now I want to share one more picture. Can I share screen for a second?
Maria can quickly make you co-host, sorry. Yes, you are. You can share.
Yeah, you should be a co-host. You should be able to share.
Ha! No, sir. Just notice the picture right here. Car versus stock. Investing in a Tesla versus Tesla stock. This is the 22nd of June 2012, 2012 Model S, $77,000. If you would have bought a car or buy stocks in Tesla, that's the difference down below. Now, where I live, everyone goes and buys a car. Everyone goes and buys a car. But if you're investing in yourself, you might go and buy yourself some training in mindset. You may go buy yourself a coach. You may go buy and invest in yourself. The difference is so simple. Positive mindset, you're investing in yourself. Negative, you're buying things like cars, luxury suits, good clothes. And you're saying, I'm not going to invest in myself. I can't afford to. I have to invest in this. I have to invest in takeaway food and this kind of food. I don't have enough to invest in that. So I highly encourage people to go deeper into the meditations and to actually find out what their belief system is and then work on changing it. Once you have the awareness, you can change it into fully identifying with it. And that's what all our coaches are trained to do. Now I'm going to shut up.